Hi, my name is Katie and welcome to my podcast. Today we will be reviewing the latest in the alleged Eric Richins murder case. Some new information has come to light, so we'll be discussing that. But before we do, I would like to ask you to kindly like and subscribe to this podcast. It would mean a lot to me. I think I'm going to follow this case closely every time I try and do a podcast episode about something else. Something in this case pops back up. And before we go any further, I would like to remind everyone that Miss Richins, the accused, has not been proven guilty, therefore is presumed innocent. And I would like everyone to keep that in mind. Also, there are children involved in this case, so if you do engage with this topic on the internet, in the true crime world, please keep that in mind, be sensitive. Brief summary, if you haven't been following this case. Eric Richins died on the 4th of March 2022. His wife Kouri Richins was later arrested on the 8th of May 2023. She has been charged with first-degree aggravated murder and multiple counts of second-degree possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. In other words, she is currently charged with poisoning her husband. But what has come to light recently, if you remember, in I think it was the arrest warrant? Yes, the arrest warrant for Kouri, there is someone referred to as CL. They have been named in various news sources. I will not be naming them because I can't find a document that confirms their name and their involvement in this case. So according to KSL.com, which looks like a Utah-based news outlet, CL has not been arrested or charged with any crimes connected to the death of Eric Richins. However, she has been named in several court documents concerning the Richins murder case. Again, I cannot find these court documents that have named CL. Therefore, I do not feel comfortable naming them. They have been identified as being a housekeeper often used by Kouri for her residential real estate business, according to the court documents that KSL have seen. Because of her past drug distribution history, investigators believe it is plausible that CL supplied Richins with fentanyl. CL was convicted in 2021 in one case of drug possession with intent to distribute, which is a first-degree felony, and drug possession, which is a third-degree felony. And then in a second case, there was 2 more counts of drug possession with intent to distribute, which again is a first-degree felony, and drug possession, which again is a third-degree felony. CL took a plea in both cases and agreed to enter drug court. On March the 27th, 2023, CL was arrested for a misdemeanor traffic offence and booked into the local county jail. On May the 2nd, she was questioned by Summit County Sheriff's detectives. Again, I cannot find confirmation of this, but it is stated that CL admitted to supplying Kouri Richins with 15 to 30 fentanyl pills on 2 separate occasions, approximately 1 month before Eric's death. She stated that Kouri paid her approximately $900 each time she supplied the pills. She provided details of the solicitation of the drugs, the pick-up and drop-off locations, and other details that have been corroborated with digital forensic evidence, i.e. text messages, emails, phone calls, etc. And this is according to a search warrant affidavit, which I cannot find. If you are able to find it, I would appreciate you sharing it just so that we can see everything. There is a civil lawsuit filed by Eric's estate against Kouri, where CL is identified by her initials. Quote, in early February 2022, Kouri asked an acquaintance known as CL to procure some fentanyl for her, according to this civil lawsuit. CL got in touch with an acquaintance who is a known drug dealer who routinely deals fentanyl and obtained fentanyl on February the 11th, 2022. Either that same day or the next day, CL delivered those pills to Kouri by hand in the driveway of CL's home, according to the lawsuit. Quote, at Kouri's behest, CL arranged to buy more fentanyl from the same acquaintance, which she delivered to Richins, end quote. On April 26th, 2 weeks before Richins was charged with the murder, the Summit County Sheriff's Office filed an affidavit discussing CL's alleged drug court violations. The affidavit states, according to KSL.com, quote, the Summit County Sheriff's Office has been conducting an investigation regarding a death that occurred in March 2022. During this investigation, information became available that CL had a significant illicit drug history and is likely still involved in the possession and distribution of illegal substances, end quote. Apparently, the affidavit further states that a GPS tracking device was placed on CL's vehicle and a search warrant was served on her house and trash where drug paraphernalia were found. On May the 17th, a judge allowed CL to be released from custody but ordered her to wear a GPS ankle monitor, not to have any contact with several people, including Kouri Richins, and not to leave the local county. And that is according to a court docket, according to KSL.com. The judge also agreed to seal a couple of documents, including CL's release order. I would like to know what is in that release order. The judge and CL's attorney seem to indicate that whatever happens with CL's current alleged drug court violations will be dependent on what happens in another case. The judge made comments such as how cases of that magnitude can take time and that they are at the mercy of a different case that they don't have control over. CL's attorney talked about how his client is trying to avoid, quote, terrible consequences and wants to move forward, end quote. No one has mentioned the name Richins, and it is not known whether CL will testify at any hearings in the Richins case. And if you remember, Richins was denied bail at her last court hearing and is next due in court September the 1st, and CL's next court hearing is scheduled for August 16th. So this CL has been named, but as I've said, I will not be naming them. I can't find the documents, therefore I'm not willing to release their name, but you can find it on the internet if you so wish. In Kouri Richins' arrest warrant, CL is referred to. They are identified as an acquaintance of the defendant. When investigators downloaded the defendant's phone, several communications between the defendant and CL were located. Police records check of CL revealed multiple counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. May 2023, detectives interviewed CL, who told them that sometime between December 21 and February 22, the defendant, Kouri Richins, contacted CL via text message and asked if they could get some prescription pain meds for an investor who had a bad back injury. Within a few days, CL got some hydrocodone pills from a dealer. The defendant told CL to leave the pills at a house that the defendant was flipping. CL left the pills at said house and the defendant left cash for CL. It has been determined that this house was owned by the defendant during this time. 2 weeks later, the defendant contacted CL again and said that her investor wanted something stronger and asked for, quote, some of the Michael Jackson stuff, end quote. The defendant asked specifically for fentanyl. CL contacted a dealer on February the 11th, 2022 and procured 15 to 30 fentanyl pills from said dealer. Defendant came to CL's home and CL delivered the pills to the defendant. CL received $900 for those pills. 3 days later, February 14th, 2022, Valentine's Day, Eric and the defendant had a Valentine's Day dinner at their home. Shortly after the dinner, Eric became very ill. He believed he had been poisoned, as this is what he told a friend. 2 weeks after that, the defendant contacted CL again, asking for another $900 worth of pills, specifically fentanyl. CL contacted their dealer on February 26, 2022 and got the pills. The defendant told CL to leave the pills at a fire pit of the Midway house, where there was cash waiting for her. 6 days later, March the 4th, 2022, Eric was found dead of a fentanyl overdose. That is according to Kouri Richins' arrest warrant. But I would still like to know the documents that have been sealed. That'd be interesting. That is the latest in the Eric Richins murder case, that CL has been named, but I am not willing to name them. Bit of an interesting side note. Historically, poison has been the choice of murder weapon for women. There are many theories for this, one of which is that typically women aren't as strong as men. So physically, it might be hard for a woman to take down a man, to murder a man physically. Therefore, poison is the easy option, unfortunately. So that is one theory as to why women choose poison. And another is that they have easy access to it, especially historically. We could go back to ancient Greece and Rome, etc. Women were choosing poison because they had access to it. Women over the centuries, women have had access to cleaning products in the home. It was not unusual for women to buy arsenic as a cleaning product for the home, rat poison, because they are clearly having to deal with rats at home, not the husband. And also, women traditionally were healers, so they knew about herbs and plants and toxins, and again, they knew what to mix to create a poison to potentially poison someone. There are various different theories as to why women stereotypically choose poison as their murder weapon. Just a bit of a side note, and just in case you are very new to this case, Kouri Richins wrote a book about grief following the death of her husband, and it was aimed at children to help them cope with grief. And there are also currently 2 civil lawsuit cases. The Eric Richins estate is suing Kouri for various different things, and Kouri is suing Eric's estate, claiming that she should have access to all of Eric's money based on a prenup that they had. In my previous episode, I did ponder whether maybe Kouri is hoping to win her civil case before the criminal case, because in Utah, there's a law, the Slayer statute, I believe it's called, where criminals, murderers cannot profit from their crimes. So if she is found guilty, she will not be able to profit from her crimes. And I'm wondering if that includes the income from the book that she wrote. I don't know. Some legal person may know the answer to that. If you do know, let me know. But I think that is it. So a brief summary. Kouri Richins has been arrested on the murder charge of her husband, Eric Richins. She's been accused of poisoning him, and she's also been charged with possession of drugs with intent to distribute. At the moment, she is currently in jail awaiting trial. She has been refused bail, but she is presumed innocent until she has been proven guilty. And don't forget the 2 civil lawsuits as well. But that is it for today. Bit of a short one. Not much other than that LC or CL, was it CL has been named, and I will not be naming them, but I will be providing the links that I have been using today. I have also found quite a lot of documents in regards to this case, so I'm going to do some episodes regarding those. So if you're interested in following this case in detail, please remember to subscribe to my channel, podcast, wherever it is you're listening on YouTube and Spotify. Feel free to comment. Please be respectful and mindful. I would like to discuss this case. If you do have access to any documents that I can't access because I'm in the UK and not America, please let me know. Provide links maybe below. And that is it. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.